Welcome aboard. I'm never really quite sure when Facebook is actually turning the feed on and when it's going live. So this may be just an introduction nobody's hearing, and everybody may be hearing us. In fact, I think everybody is hearing us. Hey, everybody, this is Richard Nongard, and I'm here today with my friend Steve. He dropped in this morning, and Steve is a life coach. He's a business development expert, and we've been talking this morning about some ways that we can really expand the feeling of happiness that we have. And everybody knows that we feel better when we do the things that help us to feel happier. Take care of ourselves, nutrition, food, and those sorts of things. We feel better when our money is under control, when our relationships are under control. But the real apex of success, imagine a pyramid and those things about us being at the bottom. And in order to truly sense fulfillment, though, we have to reach the top of that pyramid, the apex, and that's where our own efforts at personal improvement actually transform the lives of others by giving us an ability to feel like we are contributing to other people and to society as a whole. So, Steve, this concept really comes from a Japanese word called Koken.
That's correct.
Can you explain that a little bit further? Because it's a great concept for people who want to help other people
Absolutely.
to really understand.
Yeah, so the entire genre of self-help and personal development, if you think about it, includes, each of those monikers includes the word either self or personal. So the industry is really all about me. And you walk into any bookstore and try to look for the other development section or the service section, and it just doesn't exist. So something that I developed, this concept and the curriculum called Koken, is really focused on, rather than focus on me, if I can help other people's boat across, mine reaches the shore as well. And so few of us in life really have clearly defined what our contribution is. And so that's actually what the word Koken means in English, is contribution. So we can begin with identifying our Koken and then work on us and others, we can ultimately achieve our dreams.
You know, one of the things I'd love for you to do in the comment section right below here is just think for a minute. As a hypnotist, as a therapist, as a person who wants to help other people, what is the contribution ideally you would like to make? So you had a real quick summary of what it is that is your purpose in life.
Sure.
And we can go with a purpose in life or a purpose of our work or a purpose of, you know, that role in the community, but I loved what you said about your life goal.
Right. Well, Richard, even though I don't look it, I'm actually 47. So 7 years ago, I was having a conversation with my son. He was 12 at the time, and we were standing in the kitchen, and clearly 47 minus 7 is 40, right? So there's that pretty important time in life. And just offhandedly, he said, "Wow, Dad, you're half over." And that one comment absolutely flipped my world upside down. And it took me about 2 weeks to recover. And when I did, I contacted a dear friend of mine who is one of the most skilled personal development coaches that I've ever worked with. His name is Christopher John Stubbs. And Christopher took me through about a 2-week process to define, as a 40-year-old man, what my contribution in life was. At the end of those 2 weeks, it actually came in the form of a sentence. And that sentence is to teach other people how to make their lives extraordinary.
That is really awesome.
Thank you.
The purpose of life is to help people make their life extraordinary.
Extraordinary. So everything I've done for the last 7 years is with that as my foundation. So that, Richard, is my Koken.
So I guess I'm curious, what's your Koken? Think about it for a minute. Begin to define it. And this is the contribution that you can make to other people through your life actions or through your work or through your writings if you write books, or through your service in a church if you're a part of a community, or you know, even through your contact with other people. You said something to me earlier that was really pretty powerful, and that is that service wasn't really about me becoming the head of the local PTA.
Right.
But how did you define effective service?
Sure. You know, as I've lived my life and people talk about volunteerism and service, it typically are grand gestures. It's typically wasting and wearing out our lives doing things for other people, and our life really is second. And even though there's tremendous value in that, if we are you know, the old Stephen R. Covey sharpen the saw thing, if you've ever read any of his material. If you don't take time to sharpen the saw, you can't use that tool effectively. So if we as a human are not okay, then we can't effectively serve. So rather than do the grand gestures, rather than really focus on what are the big things I can do to serve humanity, let's actually focus on the simple things. So years ago, with my children, I put together something for them where it was their daily checklist, and it, you know, the things they did every day, and we developed this thing which was the act of service I performed today without accepting or expecting anything in return. So for my children at the age of 5, I taught them, with my wife's help, of like, live your life, do your day, but really try to find one thing that you can do a day for a person, expect nothing back and accept nothing back.
And that's great, because it's a lot easier for me to really look at what I can be grateful for and how I can be nice. You know, one of my most popular YouTube videos, actually a video I produced, that's simply a short hypnosis session, how to be nice.
Really?
And when people practice being nice, then they have the ability to enter into service with a sense of gratitude and with a sense of reception. Well, look, you've given us some great ideas today. And I've been trying to get online every day and talk to everybody and share some of my thoughts. And, you know, when Steve came over this morning, we talked about these things, and he shared this concept of Koken with me. It really resonated, and I knew that it would resonate with you as well. So spend a little time if you need to, and come back with what is the purpose of your work or your life. How can you find meaning? And come back to the comment box and type in one short sort of tagline or elevator pitch that actually, to put it in business terms, that actually describes what you do. You know, lately I've been, in the last couple of years, I've wrestled with some big health issues, made some major life changes. And so I've decided that one of the things I can do, my strength is teaching, and so I can educate as many people as possible about things that are important to them. And so that's really what my purpose in life is right now, which is why I've been resuming these webcasts on a regular basis. But leave a comment below and let me know what it is that you'd like to accomplish. So that
my recommendation would have that comment be my Koken is, and then fill in the blank.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your contribution. Fantastic. Well, great to have you. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it,
We'll be
Richard.
hearing more from Steve in the near future.